What's up, guys? Tim Little. Welcome back to TacticalBassin. The last few weeks, Matt and I, we've talked about how to locate summer bass, how to finesse fish for them, how to throw big cranks for them. We've shot in-depth videos on most of these things that we've talked about. Today's video, I'm going to show you guys how to package all of that information, everything that you guys have learned the last few weeks, and put the puzzle together, put everything together, and catch more fish this summer. The first step, locate those fish. You're going to locate them two ways, right? You're going to spend time behind your graph, behind your console, idling, looking for schools on your graph, or looking for fish blowing up the backs of pockets, those sort of things. The other way, you're just going to go fishing. Start fishing, you catch some fish. A lot of people, the first thing they're going to do is make another cast and just keep fishing, right? Today, I want to explain to you guys how to find those schools, and once you catch them, how to keep them fired up, how to dial them in so you catch more fish than the guy next to you. So, if I find a fish, if I'm out fishing and all of a sudden I catch a fish in a certain depth range, or I find a school on a rock pile, let's say 12 feet, right? I find a school that's there. They're not active, they're not feeding, they're not doing anything, but I know they're there. I'm gonna talon down, I'm gonna anchor up, whatever you need to do. I'm gonna take a break and I'm gonna get my gear ready. I'm gonna figure out what baits that I can effectively fish that specific, that targeted depth range in. If it's 12 feet, I'm not gonna tie on a 10XD. I'm gonna tie on a 5XD or 6XD, something that will reach effectively that 12-foot range, right? It's not going to get caught up. It's not going to get hung up. It's not going to get snagged. I want to be able to fish that depth range effectively. I'm going to take those finesse baits. Remember that summer finesse video that I shot a couple weeks ago? I'm going to take some of those baits, a Ned rig, a shaky head, a Nico rig, something like that. I'm going to get that ready. So I'm going to have my finesse stuff ready. I'm going to have my reaction stuff ready, maybe a swim bait or a flutter spoon or a lipless crank, something like that, something that I can fish effectively in that depth range, but I can fish it quickly and I can fish it erratically. So I have my finesse stuff, I have my reaction stuff, I have my school. They're not eating, but now the trick, the only thing I have to do is get one to eat. I don't care if it's a 10-incher or a 10-pounder. Well, 10-pounder would be great, but a 10-incher or 12-incher. Matt and I, we've preached about it in so many videos, that schooling mentality. If you can get one fish fired up, if you can get one fish to make a mistake, to eat that bait, it's going to ignite that school, and you need to be ready for it. A lot of guys, they just keep fishing, catch a fish, and just keep fishing. But if you can make that transition from the finesse bait to that reaction bait, you can keep that fish school, you can keep that whole school fired up, and you could possibly catch your PB, a fish of a lifetime, maybe 100 fish. Last year, we had a subscriber come out and we shot that video specifically. We shot a video, how to catch 100 fish in a day. Matt, myself, and Alex, we caught 100 fish. This exact scenario. We started warming them. As soon as we got one to eat a Ned rig or a shaky head, we picked up the 6XD and we just started cracking them. We caught over 100 fish. But that is the same scenario that I'm explaining to you guys today. So you have your school located, 12-foot range. You know how they're positioning. You know where they're sitting. You know everything that you need to know. Now you just got to get one to eat. So you're going to throw your Ned rig. You're going to throw your drop shot, your shaky head, whatever it may be. You're going to sit there and fish. As soon as you hook one, get it to the boat, get it back in the water, whatever you need to do with it, but get it in there in a hurry with a crankbait or that reactive bait. Whatever rods that you have prepared to fish that depth range effectively, get in there. If you're fishing with a buddy, make as many casts to that spot and catch as many fish as you can, because the more fish you catch, the more that school gets fired up, the better chance you have of sticking a giant. So, find the school, back off. Mentally, prepare what you're going to do. Get your net lined up, get your rods lined up, get your reactive baits lined up. Once you get all of your gear ready and you know what you're going to do, you're prepared for it mentally and with your rods, make that cast, however many casts you need to make until you catch that one fish, and then hammer down with those reactive baits. Some of my favorite baits are going to be, like I said, like the 6XD. a lipless crank. You know, the LV 500 specifically, we've talked about this bait in so many videos. It's a 3/4 ounce bait. It can be fashed very quickly. It falls when you hop it. It falls very quickly. You get that good reactive bait. Get that good reactive bite. And a swim bait, something you could fish that's heavy enough you could fish it quickly and get those fish to stay committing to your baits. You want to switch up baits. You want to make the same cast multiple times with different baits and keep those fish fired up, because they will become, you know, they key in on certain baits and then they stop, right? Like that video I was talking about earlier with Alex and Matt. Multiple times throughout that day, we'd catch one on a worm, and then all of a sudden we'd start cranking them, and then it would die. It'd shut down. We'd fish another 5, 10, 15 minutes, catch one on a worm, throw the crankbait in there, catch a bunch more. It just happens like that. They turn off and on. So do your best to be prepared, catch as many fish as you can, repeat that scenario, and you guys will put a lot more fish in the boat. So there you guys have it. The last few videos, hopefully you guys have learned bits and pieces out of all those videos. Now you put all that together. You got your summer finesse baits, you got your summer reaction baits. You work together, use those baits together to keep those fish fired up and more fish in the boat. If you guys have any questions, please leave them down below in the comments section. Remember guys, we're doing 3 videos a week for you, so hit that subscribe button. If you like this video, if you learned something from it, please hit that like button. Everything that I talked about, all the baits, all that stuff, the gear that I would use for the different scenarios, I'll leave the links down below in the video description. We appreciate you guys. Have a good day.